Great Scott. Great Scott. Great Scott.
Young Jimmy grew up to look exactly like his brother. Name wasn't even Jimmy. Michael McKean. He went into the voiceover booth. Lex Luthor elected president. There he is. That's right, the Olsen boys are twins, just so that Aaron Ashmore could come back and reprise, well, actually he's playing yet another completely different role. And this is really just another way for the writers to fix something that the fans were unhappy about, that they never should have done in the first place. They make these promises, no tights, no flights. They make other promises like, a main character will die, and then they have to stick to it, or they feel like they do, so they kill off the one that they called Jimmy Olsen. And I will never believe that he wasn't Jimmy Olsen, or that this new kid, the brother, is really the Jimmy Olsen. I mean, they made an older Jimmy Olsen. We were all upset about that. Then they killed him off. We were all upset about that. Now they have this new kid who looks exactly like Jimmy, acts exactly like Jimmy, wears the bow tie. And again, it was really just silly. Hey, by the way, I really liked it when we found out the original Jimmy was actually just a kid back in Smallville who leached his powers off of Clark. That was my favorite. It's a good stand. The complete ending where the Superman John Williams music is playing and Clark whips off the glasses and makes his stance on the roof and then tears open the shirt was real cool. Too little too late in my opinion, and a big rush job toward the end. So in wrap up, I gotta say that over 10 years Smallville has been hit or miss, mostly miss. Bad writing, poor plotting, plot holes left and right, mischaracterization of famous, well-known characters, and then mischaracterization of characters that they themselves created, doing things that, based on everything they've shown us, they would never do. The hero, in my opinion, this show was never actually a show about a kid who would become Superman. It was just a run-of-the-mill WB show about shippy-ship relationship stuff, will they, won't they stuff, kids in showers together, kids in high school doing things that only their older counterparts in life should be doing, but they did it for the 14-year-olds who were watching, their primary audience on the WB, and they used Superman character names, but not actually any of their personalities. Clark didn't even want the powers, as Lex says in this episode. Clark whined about it the entire time, and now that we're at the finale, suddenly they rush everything forward, but only in the last 10 minutes. Don't use the whole 2 hours to show a transformation, a gradual move toward it, and don't use the whole 10 years to do it. Make it 10 years about shippy stuff and whining and crying, and I don't want to be a hero, and I hate my powers, and I hate my life, and then in the last 10 minutes of the 10 years of the last show ever to be made, show him become Superman just out of the blue. So for me, I enjoyed it. It was like a guilty pleasure. For a lot of people, reality shows or Desperate Housewives or those kind of things are guilty pleasures. For me, watching Smallville was a guilty pleasure. I enjoyed watching it. I enjoyed some of the small Superman tidbits they had in there, but I can only see it as an alternate take on a possible different Superman, not the Superman that most of us relish and love. And just for all you guys who talk about how longest running sci-fi show, longest running Superman show, most popular Superman show, this and that, the only reason, once again, that it was alive as long as it was because it was on the CW, where 2 million viewers is considered major. If it was on any other network, it would have been canceled in the first season. 8 million, which was the season high and the series high, and only happened in the first season, is small numbers for any normal network. So this show would not have been on for 10 years and only was because less than 2 million viewers, 1.8 or something, which was probably the average for this final year, is acceptable. It's not acceptable anywhere else. Oh well. We do have Man of Steel to look forward to. The comics are still out there. We've got cartoons coming, I'm sure of it. So remember, look up in the sky.